happy Tuesday. You know that means it is Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka Day. It is Tuesday. I have something super special for you. How did you like the new intro? Trying to be a little fancy. I do what I can. And I am so excited to be here with you tonight because you know what? Not only is it Tuesday, not only are we about to be in a holiday weekend, regardless of if you actually want to celebrate what the 4th of July is about, we still get some days. So how about that? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Guess what? Guess who is about to be off from clinic for 2 weeks? No clinic for 2 weeks, and it's going on vacation. Dr. Ericka, that'll be me. I am going on vacation. So I'm really excited about that. And as you come on, let me know how you're doing. Because while I am off, you know what? I decided I'm going to really give myself some time to relax. So you'll still have podcast episodes coming out, but I'm actually not going to have any scheduled live streams while I am on vacay for 2 weeks. So Growth Groove will be off for 2 weeks, but we'll come back the 3rd week of July. That's just so I can get a little bit of rest, y'all. I'm trying to practice what I preach. So I'm really excited about that. But you may see me pop up places because I can't not go live at all, but it'll probably be spontaneous and it'll happen when it happens. So today we are going to be talking about what is inside the mind of me, inside the mind of Dr. Ericka, what is going on in here. I realized I haven't really given you an update or just kind of let you know what's going on with me as much other than just what's been going on with the podcast. So I was like, let's do an episode that is about that. So before we go ahead and get all the way started, do me a favor. If you know someone that needs this, please share. Sharing is caring. If you know someone that needs this, just tag them. Just tag. The last thing, if you're watching it later on replay, don't even worry about it. Put hashtag replay in the comments. I am super glad to have you here. So I'm just really excited about the opportunity to have you spend some quality time with me. So I am your host, Dr. Ericka, double board certified and Harvard trained psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am so passionate about helping you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my adult telepsychiatry, my books, my speaking, and my new podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka. I do all of this to put you back in your life because who doesn't want to be the center of their own life? I don't know about you. I get tired when I feel like I'm an extra in my own life. Nobody wants to do that. So let's not do it, okay? All right, so let's just get going. I'm just going to talk to you tonight. We're just going to have a conversation. The first thing is the short news cycle. We have such a short news cycle. One of the things I do in the morning, I used to be a really big Tom Joyner morning show person. I'm probably dating myself. And when it went off, I started listening to The Breakfast Club. And they do some interesting interviews on there, along with some stuff that's a little over the top, but it's entertaining. And I was thinking as I was listening to it this morning, is that there's been so much that goes on, but it's almost like looking at what is our capacity to hold everything that's going on top of mind. And I realize what ends up happening is it falls out of top of mind. But the thing that happens when it falls out of top of mind is it's real easy to start forgetting our history and forget what happened. And when we think about all of these deaths, all the racial injustice, the insurrection, Asian Pacific Islander hate, just hate against people that are not like others, gender inequality, how they treat the Native Americans. There's so much that we could go on and on about, but it's easy for it to fall out of top of mind. And especially because the news cycle is so short, is that all of a sudden we're onto something else. And one of the things I want to remind people of is one of the only ways we're going to change the world and make this world the place we want. And the place we want our children in, or the place we want the young people that we know to grow up in, is that we can't consistently just keep forgetting about everything that happens, because then you get lulled into a space of comfort and then all crap breaks loose. And it's happened so much. It has happened just way too much. So I just want to urge you all to try to remember. Now, I'm not saying sit and constantly wallow in all of these deaths of Black bodies and all these people that have been killed and all of these people of LGBTQ that have been persecuted, or all the ways women have been mistreated, all of the ways they have tried to lock up people of Latin origin. It's hard to keep all of that on top of mind, but it's important for all of us never to forget so that we can continue to push forward, because when we become complacent, then people can take advantage of us and more bad things happen. And we want these things to stop happening, which also means we have to vote and participate in our government processes also. And we're starting different election cycles. So it's important to stay on top of what's going on. I know Atlanta is starting some mayoral stuff. I know when I listen to the Breakfast Club, I hear stuff about the New York mayor's race, but there's always something going on. So one of the things we can do is to be aware of what's going on, especially in local politics. The next thing is I guess this is an oldie, but I think it makes sense still, is that there's always something left to be done. Thanks for coming on, Charles. There's always something to be done. So this relates actually to my vacation, is that there literally is always something to be done. I had a conversation with one of my accountability partners, and she was like, hey, I wish I could do like you and take a weekend and just do nothing. I said, actually, you can, because for most of us, what we're doing, nobody's going to die if we stop for a brief moment. And I know I've had lots of conversations with Dr. Lakeisha on here also about how sometimes you have to slow down to start up, and you have to replenish your energy, and you have to restore. So there's always going to be something to be done. So don't cheat yourself out of rest, because there's always something. You're never going to be 100% done. It's just impossible. It's just not how adult life works. And, we're at June 29th, so we are nearing the end of Pride Month. So extra love out to all the LGBTQIA community. Sending love, lots of love. And one thing I want to encourage people is to open your eyes and learn more about people. And one of the interesting things, other than just simply reading books, is by consuming some content done by people that are not like you. Because I realize there's a portion, just like for them, that Black people don't want to feel like every time you walk in a room, you are the ultimate authority of everything Black, and everyone asks you, what's it like to be Black constantly? But by consuming some content or seeing what people are talking about that aren't like you, a lot of times you'll learn things, even if it's not a context, it's not a lecture or something like that. So I want to share a podcast that I recently discovered. It's called The Gaily Dose. I discovered it because one of my favorite restaurants is this restaurant called Bar Taco. One of the managers is Dante. Dante and I were talking about my new podcast. Then he said, guess what? I have a podcast. And it was The Gaily Dose. So I started listening to it. And I want to highly recommend it because they have a lot of really thought-provoking conversations with a lot of comedy and entertainment that give you some insight into what people are dealing with in the LGBTQIA community. And one of the ways I think it's feels organic to learn about people is actually just to listen to them. So I want to recommend that podcast because I really like it. And another thing I discovered on, I think it was Hulu. I don't know if all of you have seen the movie Love, Simon. There is a TV show that was inspired by Love, Simon called Love, Victor that focuses on this young man who is a teenager of Latin background who actually is gay but hasn't come out. And you get to see a lot of things, even though this is fiction, about things that people are dealing with as far as how what you say means something. There are times where you may, or anyone can say something and not really be paying attention to it, and it hurt or significantly impact somebody. But there's just a lot of really interesting things in it. So if you just want to sit and binge watch something like that, I highly recommend it. And it's actually teen focused too. So it's possibly a good way to have some conversations with your young people. But it's Pride Month, so I want to encourage everyone to continue to learn about people that aren't like you and to be empathic and to realize that a lot of the ways we were taught was in such a heteronormative culture that at times you may not even realize how heteronormative it was. So it's important for us to continue to learn and to be aware of people so that not only can we be empathic and sensitive, but also then we can be more aware of what we say, what we do. I realized even I was writing out some cards and I realized the way that we typically would show respect through titles is very heteronormative, or very looking at there being two main genders because you're saying Miss, Mrs., or Ms. But if someone's non-binary, then that wouldn't work either. So I just want to encourage people to continue to learn and continue to practice being sensitive and considerate. And I'll be releasing a short version of the pronoun video. So if you missed it, the short version is coming to you actually tomorrow because we got to get it out before Pride Month is over. The next thing is I know we're all not, I wouldn't say it's just simply dealing with the issues of the pandemic and gaining weight or whatever we did with the pandemic. Is I want to just have a moment for the fact that exercise is something that's good for us. It's good for your health. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your physical health. It also helps increase your energy. It helps you sleep. So exercise and movement is important. And I realize everyone is not the person that just loves exercise. I was actually talking to a patient today and they're like, I've never enjoyed exercise. I know for me, there's some exercise I've enjoyed. There's some things I never enjoy. I've never gotten a runner's high. Running is not my jam. And for me, sometimes it's more of once I get started, I'm good. It's just getting myself to get started. And you've probably heard me talk numerous times about I'm going to start exercising again. I'm going to get it together because early in the pandemic, I was riding my Peloton 5 days a week and was just in there. I was doing it. And then I went back to work outside of the home, and it's been very difficult since then. But I want to encourage everyone to keep trying, even if, I know a lot of times we all say, we're going to exercise, we're going to get movement. Any movement is important, and we can always continue to build and get better. But don't beat yourself over what you didn't do today or what you didn't do yesterday. There's tomorrow. But don't make tomorrow months and months away. Go ahead and try to get at it tomorrow, even if you start small, because our body needs it. And I don't want a situation where we've gone through this long period. It's very easy to lose track of your health maintenance and to just either get caught up in the busyness of life or just be tired and just not exercise and not have movement. But I realized it's hard to get going. I wish it was easy. In my heart, in my mind, I feel like it should be easy. I realize it takes a lot of effort. Let's see what we got next. Good doctors can be hard to find. I'm not saying that because I'm saying it's hard to find me because I'm a good doctor. But I recently saw my primary care doctor, and she did all of the things, and she was phenomenal. She was totally phenomenal. And we were having some conversations and how a lot of people are starting to look at ways to leave medicine because it's, quite honestly, it's become mentally exhausting for a lot of people. And a lot of times it doesn't feel like people appreciate you as much as it used to. So the thing I'd like to tell people is number one, if you meet a doctor and it doesn't feel like they're your jam or they don't listen to you or you don't feel like they hear you or understand you, it's okay to get another one. And if you find a good one, you want to hold on tight. Because there's a wide variety of ways to do this. And there's some people that are going to be extremely thorough and very empathic and holistic, and there's some that aren't. But if you find a good one, you need to hold on to them. And also be willing to tap your networks to try to find someone that's going to be really good and treat you the way you deserve to be treated, because you will most likely be more enthusiastic about taking care of your health if you feel like there's someone to partner with. And also, if you have someone that's really good, like my doctor and like me, we'll give you some practical tools and solutions and not just send you like you saw an episode of Oprah and someone said, get better. Or you saw Dr. Oz and they're like, work on vitamin D. And then you're left to do it by yourself. So just had to get that out there. The next thing is the struggle bus is real. There are a lot of people on the struggle bus right now. I want to take a moment and pause again, though, and just give some love out to folks that there's some people that have been like, I have made the most money ever in my business in the pandemic, or I've been super productive in the pandemic. I wrote this book in the pandemic. That will go on and on about all the things they did. They learned about themselves. They metamorphosized. They've lost 40 pounds. You're going to hear some of all of it. And that is all phenomenal and great. But I want to send some love out to everyone out there that has been on the struggle bus at some point and has been tired or feeling like they just need to survive or just trying to put one foot out of the other or just get out of bed. Sending some love to you that it's okay if this wasn't your huge epiphany about how to make every single thing happen. But I also want to encourage you, as we said, good doctors are hard to find. Find you a good doctor if you're so overwhelmed that you just don't feel like yourself. Don't be on the super struggle bus longer than you need to be there. I don't want you on the equivalent of the mega bus of struggle. Just had to get that out there. COVID is still here. I know. I'm in Atlanta. Everyone's acting like it's over, but it's not. So I just want to encourage people. I want to have a quick moment, with the Delta variant, and there's so much going on that this is not the time to totally lose any vigilance because it's still out there. People are still getting sick. People are still dying. Everyone is not vaccinated. It's just important to use common sense, still be washing your hands, wearing your mask, physically distancing when appropriate, just because I want all of us to get through this together. So even though we're tired of it, it's not tired of us. It is still out there. And the other thing is, I've even been dealing with this myself. And I don't know if all of you are. If you are, let me know. Just dealing with, there have been a lot of social changes going on. We had to adjust how we dealt with things from a social perspective and connection when we were at the height of the pandemic and we were all super duper physically distanced and some of us weren't going anywhere. And as things have started to open up, everyone has their own path and their own journey and their own comfort level of how much and how fast they're venturing out. Which means you may have times where you're still sitting in the house and your friends have other stuff and they're doing things or other people have things to do. They actually have schedules. Because I know at one point it seemed like our social schedules were empty. And people have different things they want to do. Some people aren't comfortable being in large crowds. Some people are. So there is an adjustment period that we're all dealing with, adjusting to how do we socially navigate this landscape, especially that all of us perceive it potentially differently and aren't doing exactly the same thing. So I want to encourage people to be flexible. We all have to respect each other's choices. There are going to be some people that have a higher comfort level of being around people or doing things than you may, or you may have a higher comfort level than some other people And, I think we can all respect each other's choices. You have to do what feels comfortable for you and what feels right for you and what your intuition tells you to do. And be open to adjusting, kind of a bob and move, that there may be some people you're still FaceTiming with, and there may be some people you see in person. Or like for me, one thing I realized is I had this core group of people and we were Zooming once a week through the height of pandemic. And as things started opening up, the Zoom it's been hard to make it happen because some people have been out and doing things. And I had to realize that I was getting something vital was coming out of those interactions for me. I got a lot of emotional fuel from it, that was a huge space of support for me And it also was a significant social influence. And when that started leaving, I had to start thinking about what am I going to do as an alternative? Because I can't sit and make these people Zoom. I can't be like, you go Zoom with me. That I had to start proactively thinking about how can I connect with some other people to get the social interaction I need. And we're all going to be in this situation of kind of flexing. So I want to encourage people to be flexible. The last thing is I have a couple of podcast updates. And thanks again for coming. So the podcast updates are, I've got the podcast Better with Dr. Ericka. You can go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or the link below to check it out. We have quite a few episodes. A new episode dropped today. I'm really excited about the one today because it actually has my theme song and some new elements. So I can't wait to hear what you think. And I have to ask you for a couple of favors. The first favor is, can you follow or subscribe? The second favor is if you are on Apple Podcasts, can you please rate and review? It makes a huge difference in their analytics and their algorithms. So that helps me get to new and noteworthy and be in a space where more people can find the podcast, because I really want to be able to help as many people as possible. So the more of you that rate and review it, the more people will be able to see it. And the other option, you can go to rate the podcast. That's the service too. RateBetterPodcast.com, RateBetterPodcast.com, and whatever device you're on, I'll pull up where you can rate it. But I'm super excited. I don't know about you. It's really nice to find something that I really enjoy. And I didn't know I love podcasting like I love podcasting, but I actually really love podcasting. And I want to thank you all for all of your support while I have started this podcast. I also want to encourage you, please share it. I would love more people to hear about it. And I'm bringing some really good episodes to you. So I'm really excited about some of the things that are in the pipeline that have not been edited and have not been dropped. They've been recorded. And I just wanted to come in and just do some quality time with you all again tonight. So again, you can always find my podcast at betterthepodcast.com or on Apple and Spotify. It's Better with Dr. Ericka. And if you tune in to this week's episode and going forward, you'll actually hear my theme song. So I actually have my own theme song now. And I just want to send lots of love out there because, as I said before, I am going to take 2 weeks off while I'm actually on physical vacay and just recharge so that when we come back later in July, I'll be able to come back with a lot of energy for you. So that's what I got for you tonight. I'm sending lots and lots of hugs, lots of positive energy. Happy end of Pride Month. Make it count. And let's all continue to love each other, learn about each other, respect each other so that we can honestly make the world better. But I want you to be able to be better, do better, and live better. So we can do this together and you can do this. All right? So that's what I got for you tonight. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am passionate about helping people be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my telepsychiatry, my books, my speaking, and my podcast. I'm here to put you back in your life. So I can't wait to see you soon. As I said, I'll be popping up probably a couple places on social media. This is a great time to catch up on the podcast. And I wanted to send some love out to all of you. You have your normal prescription. Make sure you call and tell at least one person that you love them. I bet they'll say it back. Until next time, have a better